Hello YouTube. I just want to make a quick video comment here about somebody that's, I guess, fairly well known in the YouTube circles as a partner or whatever they want to call themselves. He's been featured on the main YouTube page for quite some time whenever I get into that page. Anyhow, what I want to talk about here is one of his questioning replies to a concerned honest stranger that says, "Everything points to an inside job. Why else would World Trade Center 7 have been controlled demolition?" This well-known YouTube video producer, I'll call him RP, replies, "Nothing points to it. First of all, it doesn't make sense at all to even think that anyone would want to target World Trade Center 7. You guys want to think it makes sense since it would collapse, but what in the hell would that accomplish? I never even heard of the building before 9/11. Well, this RP guy, he goes on this similar viewpoint about the attacks that day, specifically in New York, that it was a strike by 19 hijackers that attacked us not for our freedom, but because of our policies in international topics. It's not because the official president stated reason they hate us for our freedom. Well, it's a fact. The terrorists that did strike us that day do hate our freedoms, what little we do have. I know a lot of people think we're the freest country in the world. We're far from it, people. Anyhow, that's a digression there. This World Trade Center 7 building, I replied to this guy, to his lame comment, kind of begging the question of why would they even want to target the building to start with. Obviously it wasn't hit by a plane. I guess his viewpoint is it was hit by debris from the falling towers, or the foundation weakened somehow on that giant bathtub. Well, the point is, there's a very credible witness out there in several different interviews stated the same things precisely and clarified it, because a previous video left a little bit of doubt what he specifically meant timeline wise. This was Barry Jennings, an emergency services worker for the city. He's been in all the meetings, all the preparations, everything to do with FEMA type activities in New York City up to that point. In his duty that day, he went down to World Trade Center 7 because that was their command post for any terrorist acts or some other catastrophe. So he did like he was supposed to do, met up with somebody else, which will not speak of what he saw that day for obvious reasons. So Mr. Jennings says he went into the building, went up to the command center, and it had already been evacuated. The place was barren, empty of people. Still had steaming coffee cups. He said it was smoke, but he meant steam was still coming out of the coffee cups. Half-eaten food. They left in a hurry, is what he was saying. So him and his new partner for the moment decide to leave and get out of there. They don't take the elevator, they go to the stairway. And as they're going down from the 23rd or 22nd floor where this command center was, the place blows up from under their feet. I believe he said he was around the 8th floor stairs when it blew, and when the dust started settling, he was hanging from a rail about the 6th floor level. Lucky to have caught something. So him and his partner, about in the same area, they find their way back up to a floor. I forget which floor he mentioned. It could have been the 8th. And they're looking for an alternative way out. And as they're on their little search for this way out, they notice out the windows that both of those towers are still standing. This RP character knows this. And he has the gall to even write that right there. It doesn't make sense at all to even think. This is what he says, quote, "It doesn't even make sense at all to even think that anyone will want to target World Trade Center 7. You guys want to think it makes sense since it collapsed, but what in the hell would that accomplish?" He also says, "I never heard of the building before 9/11. Well, that World Trade Center 7 building was destroyed in at least one of its strong points in one stairwell location. Stairwells are strong points of the building, folks. If you didn't know that, they are the stronger areas of the building. With that blown up inside World Trade Center 7 to damage a stairwell like that, and this RP character trying to pass it off like it was never damaged until the towers fell, completely ignores the point, is playing the shill, the troll, the stooge for the official conspiracy theory passed off by the Bush administration, and they are the terrorists. Whether it was just helping the ones that actually carried it out, or the ones that carried it out and planned it from the get-go. The Bush administration are 100% guilty, starting from Condi Rice and everybody else involved. Donald Rumsfeld, Dick Cheney, George Bush, his entire cabinet, Karl Rove. You name them in this administration, they are defendants if justice ever wakes up in this country. I'd be happy with an international court hanging these bastards for their treason against the world. At least 2 wars under their watch started on 100% lies. When they have to lie to you to get your support for a war, you know that war is not worth it in your eyes if you knew the truth. That's why they had to lie. Because if you did know the truth, you would never have allowed it. You would have spoke up against it if you knew their real goal, the truth. So they lied to you. They lied about the attacks that they covered up. They lied to you for the reasons to go into war. I mean, Afghanistan was to supposedly get the mastermind behind 9/11, and a few months later, the commander-in-chief says, "Oh, I don't care about him." You attacked the country to get this man, and a few months later, you don't care about him. Well, it's because he was dead, but that's on the down low. So this RP character, it's amazing he hasn't blocked me yet, because I've said nothing but negative points of what he says. I'm never uncivil toward these people unless they've deserved it several times before I reply in an uncivil manner. This RP guy, you can just hear it in his voice, what gang he is shilling for. The Bush administration and whoever was pulling their strings to carry out that attack called 9/11. That's who he is shilling for, this RP character. Just think about that. I hope you can read it here. It's right here, this bottom part. That's what he wrote. Copied and pasted into this notebook page. Read that, folks. I mean, how can anybody say that after they hear what Barry Jennings had to say? I mean, it took a few hours for him to actually get out once the towers did collapse. He was still trapped in that building. And the firefighters actually helped him out later on. And according to Barry Jennings, he was stepping over bodies. Yet nobody in the official Bush administration results, nobody died in World Trade Center 7. It's one lie after the next. And some people are just disgusting the way they continue on with this. They didn't like our policy, so they terrorized us. No, the terrorists didn't like the control we have within our country to a certain extent to be able to stop them. Now they have the Patriot Act and a few other points that they can use against us if we speak up in the wrong manner, in the wrong location, or to the wrong ears. It's obvious, folks. Barry Jennings, in several videos, that man did not look like he was lying one bit, and he has no reason to lie. It would not make sense, RP, Why would Barry Jennings have a reason to lie? Think about it, RP. Why would Barry Jennings lie? It makes no sense. World Trade Center 7 was damaged before the towers came down, and it was not from a plane part. Give up your shillery, RP. You're not fooling anybody.